Hey beauty babes, welcome to my channel. I'm Maria, aka Agape Love Girl. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today I'm going to be doing a blush collection. I'm going to show you guys all my blushes. I'm going to do some swatches. Now this video was inspired by Katie Marie. I recently just watched her do a video on her highlighter collection. She pulled out all her highlighters and swatched them and things like that. And I actually really enjoyed that video. But also I was as I was watching her video, I was reflecting on a recent video I just filmed. I believe it was the old makeup releases I'm still pining over video. I talked about in that video how I felt like I didn't have a lot of blushes, which is actually really ridiculous. I have a lot of blushes. But I felt like compared to a lot of the other products I have in my collection that blushes was one thing I had like the least of. I'm doing little quote unquote marks because it sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud. Anyway, so it made me think that maybe I should go through my blush collection because I feel like I probably have a lot more blushes in here than I realized because I do have a lot of blush palettes, which I don't tend to reach for as much. So I figured it might be nice to kind of go through my collection, swatch it all out, remind myself of what I have and why I don't need to be purchasing any more blushes. And then also it gives you guys a view of my blush collection. And since I do makeup basket videos, if you guys see any blushes in my collection that maybe you want to see featured or that I should put in my makeup basket and I should be using some more, you guys can let me know. So yeah, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. So in this drawer, I have my blushes, highlighters, bronzers, as well as powder. So pretty much all of this here are my blushes, and then I have some here, and then I have a few in my makeup basket. So I'm gonna pull them out and then set them aside, and then we will go through them all. All right, I think this is it. I just kind of looking through to make sure. Yeah, the rest are my light powders and bronzers. Okay, and then I have a few in my makeup basket I'm gonna grab real quick. All right, so here is my blush collection, and now that I have it out, it's definitely a lot. I think, like I said in my other video, I think compared to everything else I have in my collection, like highlighters, bronzers, foundations, like everything else, I feel like blush is what I have the least of. But when you look at it here, I have a lot of blushes and it's kind of ridiculous. So I think the reason why I feel like I forget that I have so many blushes is because I do have several blush palettes and I don't, or like face palettes, and I don't tend to reach for my face palettes as often. They're kind of like a product that I don't really prefer. I do like the ones I have here that I've kept, but I forget to reach for them. So I think maybe I need to make a habit of starting to reach for my blush palettes and face palettes more often. So anyways, with that being said, I think I'm going to kind of organize by face palettes and then like drugstore or brands. I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, a little bit more organized, though still kind of chaotic. Okay, so what I think I want to do is swatch the ones that are in my makeup basket first because I don't want to forget what I have in there, and mix it up. So I still have like a week left in this month, or maybe a little less than a week. Anyways, I don't want to forget what's in my basket, so I'm just going to swatch those first, and that I kept over here separately. And you guys, if you watch my makeup basket videos, you already know these products, but I figured I'll still show them in here, include them. So anyways, I have the Milani Luminoso. This is like a little sample travel size, and as you can see, like here's a full size of the baked blushes. This was just a little sample guy. So this is Luminoso. And it's funny because this is one that I feel like everybody raved about back in the day, and I only recently just tried it, not recently, but like when I got this as a sample when I made an order from Milani. And I think it's a lovely blush, but honestly my favorite baked blush from Milani is the shade Rose d'Oro. Okay, now if you're hearing some banging, that's just because my husband's kind of remodeling our bathroom, so it's right next to my office, so you might hear that here and there. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this. It is a lovely, like very kind of peachy but like highlighty type of blush. And hopefully you guys will be able to see the swatches pretty decently. Really, really beautiful blush. I've been enjoying using it this month. Okay. And then this next one is the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores blush. This is one of my favorite blushes as well. You might notice a theme in some of the blushes that are my favorite. They all kind of look the same shade. It's kind of like this warm, I don't know, peachy rose shade with gold shimmer in it. I love those type of blushes. Rose Dioro is similar to that, and then you'll see the Balm's Hot Mama is a similar shade as well. I might swatch them side by side too. This one is in my makeup basket. It's kind of part of my little unofficial project pan, like makeup basket project pan. So as you can see, there's a lot of pan in here. So I'm keeping this in my makeup basket until I use it up. So I will go ahead and swatch that. Oof. It's so pretty. Those two shades actually, now that I see them, they're kind of similar, except for this one from It Cosmetics is a little bit more sparkly. Let me go ahead and give it another little swatch. Ooh, so beautiful. Okay, and then this one is a little trio palette with a blush, bronzer, and a highlight. This one is also part of my like unofficial project pan from my makeup basket. This one is a matte blush, and it's a little bit more of a bright corally shade, or like corally pink orange. Anyways, and this is from Urban Decay. It's their Naked Threesome palette, and the shade is Naked. So I'm gonna swatch that. I feel like this one I really like, but I feel like it's a little bit harder to pair with certain looks. I've been trying to wear it as much as I can, but like I said, I feel like there's certain makeup looks that it just doesn't pair well with, because it's such a specific kind of bright corally. It's a beautiful like summer shade, but like I feel like only looks good with certain looks. So anyways, as you can see, I've gotten a lot of use out of the bronzer, a little bit out of the blush, but I'm trying to work on using it up. And then lastly in my makeup basket is this one from Zoeva. It's their Premier Blush and Highlighting Palette. Looks like this. This is a lovely blush too. It's a pretty pigmented, rich blush. I like to use it with the Duo Fiber brush. That way it doesn't go on too heavy, but it can definitely be built up. It's a really beautiful blush. I really like this shade. I think it's kind of like a warmer tone, but it's like neutral enough that I feel like it pairs well with a lot of different looks as well. And that's what that one looks like. So those are all the blushes that are currently in my makeup basket. And I'm someone, just in case you're new here, I'm someone who likes to have a lot of variety in my makeup basket, because I need variety. I can't be someone who is stuck using the same products for a whole month. Like, I have to have variety. So in my makeup basket, I usually have several different options for each category. That's just how I do it and how I'm able to make it work for me. All right, next up, let's go ahead and move on to some of my like blush palettes. So I have this one from It Cosmetics. It is the Confidence in Your Glow. So it's a trio of a bronzer, blush, and highlight. This is one I've used a little bit, but I haven't got a lot of use out of. This is probably something I should put in my makeup basket and get some more use out of it. But anyways, it does have a matte bronzer, a matte kind of gradiating into the highlight blush, and then the highlight here. So I like that the blush is a little bit matte, but you have the option to make it a little bit shimmery. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and swatch the blush right here in the middle. Let me see, what shade is this? This is the Instant Natural Glow, because I do believe there's 2 or 3 of these little palettes. Ooh, that's a really pretty, I forgot what this even looked like. Let me give it a better swatch. This is a really pretty blush. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I need to get better use out of my palettes. Okay, and then with that, I do have another It Cosmetics palette, but I want to show this one. So this is from Pixie Beauty. It's their Pixie Glow Cake, and the shade is Gilded Bear Glow. And this one, I remember when I reviewed it, I liked this, but what I said was that it reminded me a lot of this one from It Cosmetics. And I said that if you were interested in like a little trio like this, I would actually recommend the It Cosmetics one over the Pixie one, because Pixie Beauty, while it's a drugstore brand, it is pretty expensive for the drugstore. And because this seems so similar to the It Cosmetics one, I recommended the It Cosmetics one over it for 2 reasons. One, the Pixie Beauty one is shimmer all the way through, so it's more like a highlighty bronzer and blush as well as the highlight, whereas the It Cosmetics one gives you the option of a matte bronzer and a matte blush, plus you can make it glow if you want to. And then price-wise, I believe that the It Cosmetics one is only maybe like $2 or $3, maybe $4 more expensive than the one from Pixie. So I feel like if you're gonna spend that kind of money anyways, go for the Cosmetics one, the higher end brand, and then unless you really want like a shimmery look and to save like a couple dollars. But honestly, I feel like the Cosmetics one is the one I would recommend. Not that I needed to go into that tangent, I just felt like mentioning it in case you were curious. So anyways, like I said, Pixie Beauty is a more, like, it's a drugstore brand, but it's a more expensive brand for a drugstore. So And also I feel like the blush is like really like blended right there in between. So anyways, I'm gonna go and swatch that. And it really is just like a very highlighty type of shade. Let me give it another little swatch, see if we can get it a little bit deeper. It's pretty. It's like a peachy, kind of glowy blush, but yeah, definitely more of a highlighted kind of blush. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let me swatch the other It Cosmetics palette that I have. This is one that I actually really like, this little palette. As you can see, I've gotten a good use out of it. It's a little bit messy, but I feel like these are so, like, they just, a little bit goes a long way, so it's going to take a long time to use up this palette. This bronzer is actually one of my favorites. Not that this video is about bronzers, but this is one of my favorite bronzers from It Cosmetics. All of these products are products that you can buy like individually from It Cosmetics, but they also have it in this like the Je ne sais quoi face palette. But on the back it says what each one is. So the bronzer is the Sunshine in a Compact in Warmth, and I had that, like the full size of that on its own and used it up. I loved it so much. The highlight is the Perfect Lighting Luminizer in Je ne sais quoi. The powder is the Bye Bye Pores Pressed Translucent Powder, which a lot of people do really love. And then the blush is the Bye Bye Pores blush in the shade Je ne sais quoi, which is, I think their Je ne sais quoi line, like all of those lines is supposed to be like the perfect pink that's supposed to, like, I don't know, color or pH balance match to whoever wears it, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what they usually always say. Anyways, it is a matte blush, a very pinky blush. I wouldn't say this blush is one of my favorites to use. I think that's why I don't grab this palette as much, but I really do like it because I love this bronzer. I like the powder okay, and this luminizer is a little bit more of a subtle luminizer, but the blush, not my favorite. So a very pinky, cool tone blush, and I think that's why it's like not my favorite. I prefer more warmer tone blushes, as I'm sure you'll be able to tell. And then this one is one that's kind of new-ish to me. It's from Juno & Co. It's their Bombshell palette. They do have two different shades. This one's the deeper of their shades. The other one I think is like Cherry Bomb or Cherry something. But anyways, this one's the Bombshell palette. It's really cute. This one has a matte bronzer, a highlight, kind of like this creamy, like shimmery, blushy highlight. I'll swatch that too. And then this blush, which is so beautiful. It's a very deep blush, but it also has this beautiful sparkle, like gold glitter to it. Love. This one, and these are very creamy products. But this one I have to be pretty light-handed with as well because it is pretty dark. So I'll kind of swatch those two. Oh, that is pretty. But it's more so a highlight, and it's so creamy, or maybe a blush topper. I think this would be really pretty as like, because look at that sparkle, like as an eyeshadow. Or maybe a lip topper, but it could be a blush topper as well. I didn't use this shade as much just because it's so, I don't know, deep and sparkly, and I don't know. Okay, and then that one. Look how beautiful that is. Oh, I love it. I feel like definitely this is a little palette that suits me better in the summer when my skin's a lot darker. So anyways, I'll show you guys those. All right, so there's kind of a little bit of a better, closer look. Hopefully I'm not too like out of frame or out of focus or anything like that for most of these swatches, but I want to give you this little close up. I'll try to do that every time it ends in some swatches. These are beautiful. Alright, moving on, I have two blush palettes from Stilazzi. One is lighter and one is a little bit deeper. So the shades are Barbados and then Bahamas. I think Barbados is the lighter toned one. Oh no, Barbados is the darker toned one. So, oh, they're so beautiful. So even though these actually are quite a bit too dark for my skin tone, to be completely honest, like this one is really the only one that works like well for my skin tone, but it's just such a beautiful palette. I can't get myself to get rid of it. Also, these can be used as eyeshadows. They're just so beautiful. So these are more like highlighter shades, and then these three are blushes. But I just like this palette a little bit better than the lighter one, which let me open that up real quick just to show you. So Bahamas is the lighter blush palette, and it looks like this. This one I haven't gotten much use out of because I just feel like this one leans a little bit more cool tone than I prefer. I mean, this one's a warmer one. That's the one I would use if I use this. This one's a little bit neutral, but these two are cool, and I don't know, I just don't reach for this one, but I can't get myself to get rid of this either just because it's such a pretty palette, and I feel like, if I'm being honest, it suits my skin tone a little bit better. Probably, well, I don't know. It's like they're so light. I feel like this is the only one that really suits me. Whereas, like I said, in this one, this middle shade up here is the one that suits me. So I kind of just like I don't know, I hold on to both of them. Anyways, I'll go ahead and swatch the lighter one first. So this one has 2 highlight shades here, which I won't swatch, but I'll swatch the blushes. These ones are really, really creamy too. I feel like Solazzi is a little bit of an underrated, or under the radar, maybe not underrated, because I feel like people who have tried them like them, and like me, I love Solazzi as a brand, but they're under the radar a little bit. But they have great products and really amazing brushes as well. Love their brushes. You guys see me using their brushes a ton on my channel. So I'm going to swatch this bottom one. Let me wipe my hands. This one, so pretty. And clearly you guys can tell I love the warmer tone blushes. Okay, so that's Bahamas. So let's go ahead and go into Barbados, and I'll swatch this one right here. That's the one that I feel like suits me the best, right next to this last one that I feel like suits me pretty well. So I feel like kind of similar shades, just one's like a little bit deeper, or a lot a bit deeper. I don't know if you guys can hear my husband singing in the bathroom next to me. It's so cute. I love his voice. All right, so the darker ones down here, they're so creamy and beautiful. Like, this shade's so pretty. I mean, I can't wear it as a blush, but oh, I can't get rid of this. It's just too pretty. Look at those. Vibrant, beautiful. Would be perfect for the summer, like, eye looks. Oh, stunning. Okay, let me adjust. All right, hopefully you guys can see these pretty good. And hopefully the lighting's okay. I feel like in the viewfinder, the lighting seems okay. I have my windows open and I just have my overhead regular, like, room lighting on. I don't have my studio lights on, but I feel like the lighting's pretty good. And you guys can kind of see them pretty true to color, I think. So those are both of my Solazzi blush palettes. And again, I just want to reiterate, like I said in the beginning, if there's any of these palettes, products, or blushes that you would like to see me feature more on my channel or put in my makeup basket, let me know. Because now that I'm swatching these out, it's really reminding me of, which is what I wanted, of what I have, and that I need to pull some of these out, and really it's getting me excited to use my products. So this was such a good idea. Big thanks to Katie Marie for inspiring me. All right, now I only have 2 more that are kind of more so palette light. So I have this one from Rimmel London, which I've had this for so many years. I feel like it's still available last time I checked, but I think that's been over a year ago. I don't know. Either way, I remember really, really loving this little trio. This is the, it's from Kate Moss. It's the shade Golden Bronze, but I think there was 2 or 3 different shades, and this is the deepest, I think, or maybe the medium. I feel like the deepest of the ones that they carry, and it's really good quality. So you're gonna see again this why I like it. This shade is very similar to the Bahama Mama, to the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores blush, which I don't think I said because there's different shades. So Bye Bye Pores blush and Sweet Cheeks was that first one. And I'm gonna have to go and swatch them all together. And then the Rose Dioro, which I used up. I panned, I think, last year. I haven't repurchased because I felt like I don't need to. Look at all this, I don't. But it is one of my favorites from the drugstore. So anyways, this one's very similar. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it. Looks like that. Like, I have a type and this is it. And then the other one I have here is a limited edition product. I was gifted this from a friend, and I don't think I've ever, nope, I haven't. You can see it's still pristine. I've never used it, and it's just because, look, it's beautiful. It was limited edition. I was really excited to get it, but look how pretty. I was like, this is too pretty to use. But you know what? I should use this because this is the Too Faced Soulmates Blush and Bronzer. It's the Ross and Rachel one. But anyways, I love the Too Faced bronzers so much. And I've never really, maybe I have tried, yeah, I have tried their blushes, but I don't really recall what I think about them. Anyways, definitely this is more bronzer than blush, but I should use this. I think there's just part of me because it's limited edition and it's pretty that I haven't wanted to use it, but I kind of don't like that anymore. Like, I'm just, I don't want that to be me anymore. So anyways, I'm gonna, wow, this will be the first, I haven't even swatched this, but I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna do it. That's gonna force me to use it. Okay. Ooh, I don't know if it's just because this is old. I think this was from back in 2016, maybe 2015. I'm not really getting much from it. Okay, can you even see? Oh, you can kind of see it. Oh yeah, that's kind of pathetic. But I bet the bronzer is good. Let me swatch the bronzer. Oh, very light. I feel like maybe because it was limited edition, the quality is probably not as good. Maybe they assume people wouldn't use it because it's a limited edition. I just feel like that was my issue with like Too Faced back in the day. I still love Too Faced, but I got wise to them with their limited edition products. Their limited edition products are nothing like their permanent products. The limited edition products from Too Faced have been. I haven't had Too Faced in a long time, but anyways, in my experience in the past, the limited edition products from Too Faced are garbage. So anyways, it could be that. Either way, I was still happy to have this. I had this on display for a long time. It's so beautiful, but I should just use it. So anyways, that's my last little palette. So now let's go ahead and go into, you know what, let me just keep up with limited edition. Well, this wasn't limited edition, but these are not available anymore. Or they may still be available, but they're clearance. These ones were from NBA Cosmetics. They're little blushing or, yeah, blush bouquet. This one is an autumn flower. They had these for a couple of years, but they are discontinuing them. I'm not sure if they're, like I said, they could be still on their just discounted price until they're sold out. But yeah, they might not be there at all. So anyways, I don't use these as often just because of that fact, because people can't get them anymore. But yeah, I should at least use them up. They're really beautiful. I have used these a handful of times. This one is like a little mix of colors and it's pretty. Right here, let me swatch right here. It's a little bit more of a bronzy blush. This one's a really nice one for me in the summer. And then this one is in the shade Maple Leaf. Oh, I thought I had a pinkier one. I don't know what I did with that one. So this one's a little bit more of a bronzier than the other one, clearly. I could probably even use that as a bronzer and not a blush. Interesting. Okay, and then I'm gonna do this one because this one, I'm not sure if it's a bronzer or blush. I've always thought it was a blush. Let me read it. Yeah, it's a blush. It's from Borghese. I don't think I've really, I mean, I might have used it a couple times, I can see. But early on in my channel, I had got reached out to by Borghese, which I think is kind of an expensive brand, but I didn't really know much about them. They sent me some products, just a one-time thing, and I used a handful of them here and there. And then I kind of put them in a drawer and forgot about them too. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, so this is one of the products that I had. Very, very old, but I still have it. Anyways. The blush shade is called Thrill. All right, so anyways, here are the swatches of my more like older / limited edition / just really random blushes. Next up, let's go ahead and go into some cream products. I don't really have a lot of cream blushes or just products in general because they're not my favorite types of face products to use, but these are ones that I actually ended up really enjoying and so kept in my collection. So one of the newest ones to me is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh blush, the cream blush. This is the shade Butterflies. I was sent this in PR and I was gifted like several other shades, but I only kept this one. Even though I really liked it, I didn't want to keep the other shades because I probably knew I wouldn't reach for it a ton, so I just kept the one shade that I liked. And gifted the rest of them to friends and family. So anyways, if you're curious on how to use these and how I felt like I found the best way to use this, I did a video where I was, it was like a new base routine that I was doing at the time, using cream products and minimal powders. I'm going to link that video, so if you want to check it out to see how I best recommend using this, you can see that. But anyways, I'll just do like a thick swatch here so you can kind of see it. Maybe I'll just tap it out a little bit so you can see maybe a little bit more true color, because you can make it pigmented, but you could also tone it down a little bit too. So that's what that looks like. Kind of a bad swatch. Just a little bit more of like a metallic-y colored blush. Okay, and this one I actually really enjoyed as well. This is the Revlon, not Revlon, I always mix up Revlon and Revolution. This is the Revolution Pro. It's their Blush and Lift blush in the shade Peaches, which is a very perfect name for it because this is a very peachy shade. But I really enjoyed this as well. And I did do a video using this too on camera, testing out a bunch of Revlon products, or gosh darn it, why do I keep doing that? Revolution Pro products. So link that if you want to see it too. So there's that one. The cream products are definitely a lot more, you know, sheer and then going to be buildable and things like that. So, and then the last one I have is from Dalton. It's their Cheek Stamp. This is the shade Cheeky Vibes. This one is like my favorite color of all my cream blushes. Oh, it looks brown. Why? I wonder if maybe maybe because the last time I used it going over my foundation, it's kind of tinted it a little bit. That does not look appealing. Oh my gosh. So this one, it might just be old too. I think I've had this for a couple of years. Anyways, that's, the color definitely looks very different now. I think maybe because, yeah, there's like foundation or something. I'm gonna scrape that up a little bit so we could get maybe a truer color. It's definitely more mauve-y brown than I remember. I remember it being more like this color in the cap. So anyways, maybe it's time to declutter that. I don't know. But anyways, those are my cream blushes. Moving on down, let's go ahead and swatch my drugstore blushes. Obviously, I featured a few other drugstore products here, but these are my oh my goodness, my drugstore singles. So I have 3 from Milani. I feel like Milani has some of the best blushes. Not just like, I feel like they're hyped up, but it's like the hype is real for Milani. A lot of their products are just so good. So anyways, I have 2, which I thought I had more of these ones, but maybe I decluttered, I don't know. Anyways, 2 of the Milani Rose blushes. One is the shade Romantic Rose, and then this one is the shade Coral Cove, which this actually seems very similar to, I'm gonna have to, at the end, swatch some of the ones I think are very similar. Anyways, this one seems similar to the shade that's in the Urban Decay Threesome. Let me see. Ooh, very, very close. Could be dupe, but this one definitely from Milani seems a little bit deeper. Ooh, very interesting. Okay. Definitely want to swatch all those together. And then I have the Baked Blush, and this is the shade Red Vino. Really, really beautiful. Kind of similar to those other shades you guys that I've been talking about that I like, but just a little bit deeper. But it's like a red burgundy with a gold shimmer through it. So, so pretty. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this one. This one definitely, it's so full and like looks unused because I can really only use this at certain points in the summer when my skin is the darkest. So, look, you can see how dark that is, but it's a beautiful, beautiful shade that I feel like I should just go ahead and pick up another of the Milani Rose d'Oro because that's one of my favorites. Okay, and these ones I've used a bit, but I don't reach for a ton because I just feel like I don't love matte blushes as much, with the exception of one I'm going to swatch coming up next, the ones from Pure Cosmetics. I love those so, so much. So here's the other one. Ooh, this one's so, ooh, look at that. Oh, this one I've kept, even though I don't wear as often, but because I just, that color just looks so, so pretty. It's just very satisfying to look at. Even though, like I said, similar with the Urban Decay one, it's not a color that I feel like you can wear with a lot of looks. I feel like it just goes for a specific look. But it's a really beautiful, like, in my opinion, summery type of blush, or spring or summery blush. Okay, and then I have this one from CoverGirl. This one I purchased myself. This is their Peach Blush. It is peach scented. It still does smell like peaches, yummy. And this is the shade, maybe Peach Punch is the shade. Yeah, so 130 Peach Punch. I know there's like 2 other shades maybe. This one's definitely a lot more corally, similar to this, but this one has some shimmer to it, which makes it a little bit more appealing to me. Ooh, so, so pretty. There's just something about shimmer like that I just really love and appreciate in a blush. Oh God. Okay, and then this one's Wet n Wild. I purchased this myself. This is the shade, gosh, I got like dog hair. Anyways, in the shade Mellow Wine. Now this color I really like. Even though this is a matte one, I feel like this is a really great neutral shade. This one seems similar to a few other ones I have too. So this is a really great blush. All right, so those are my drugstore single blushes. All right, last up I have a few that are kind of like indie slash higher end. So I'm just gonna swatch those. So this one is from a brand called Delu Cosmetics. I picked this up myself from IMATS when I went to IMATS. This is the shade Saffron. This one's actually really, really beautiful. It's a little bit more of an expensive brand and blush, but the owner is super sweet, met her at IMATS and was excited to support her brand. So anyways, that's that one. Let me give it another little swatch. Sometimes I don't like swatching products, especially for the face, because it's like when you swatch with your fingers, it's hard pans products a little bit, so I don't like that. But anyways, it's still fun to swatch. So that's from Delu. This one is from Pretty Vulgar. This one I got in a boxy charm a couple years ago. This actually looks similar to a lot of other products as well. Goodness, I really am excited to do a little bit of comparison to some of these blushes. Should be interesting to see how many that I have that are very similar. And this is the shade Make Them Blush. Oh, it's so 18 Hush Blush. So it's the Pretty Vulgar Make Them Blush Hush Blush is the shade. Okay, and then I have this one from NARS, which was just like a little sample guy. I remember when I went through like I think I discovered this when I did a declutter of my blush drawer, blush highlight, that drawer you guys saw in the beginning, and didn't even realize I had this. Like, I was like, where, when? I have no idea. Anyways, but this one is actually very similar to a lot of the ones I like. It's similar to this one from The Balm, that It Cosmetics blush, the Rose Duo blush. I feel like it's just that beautiful, warm rosy tone with a gold shimmer shift to it. But this is the NARS Orgasm blush, the famous one. Ooh, not swatching so great. Let me give it another swatch. I definitely feel like this is one that was very, very hyped up, but I feel like there's lots of other ones that are very similar, that, like I mentioned, and then affordable ones like the Milani Rose Duo that are very similar to this shade, that you don't have to pay this price. I know Orgasm from NARS is like so hyped and something they keep trying to like keep going, but honestly I don't think it's worth the hype when there's so many shades out there very similar and much more affordable. So with that, let's go ahead and swatch the Hot Mama blush from The Balm, and you'll see it's kind of very similar. I think this one's like a little less shimmery, but it's still that similar shade. Oh yeah, very similar, but just a little bit brighter. Ooh, I'm excited to swatch more of them side by side to see. Okay, and then last up, these are the blushes that I mentioned that I really, really like, even though they're matte blushes. I don't know, for some reason I'm just not super into matte blushes, but these ones I so enjoyed using. So these are fairly new to Pure Cosmetics. I was sent these in PR. These are their Blushing Act blushes, and the darker one is the shade Very Beautiful, and then the other one is in Pretty in Peach. Pretty in Peach is a very beautiful, like, neutral blush. I felt like I could wear this with so many looks. It does have sprinkles. Oh, I just love the way it smells. The smell just hit me. It like wafted up. It smells like vanilla. It's so, so good. Anyways, this does have sprinkles, speckled. So it does have speckles of some warm peachy colors in here, and then like a couple small speckles of like this cool tone pink, and then the rest of it's a little bit more of a neutral shade. So it's just like a perfect blush that wears with a lot of different looks, and is very like pigmented and creamy. Of course, it's going to swatch horribly. That's always how it goes. But light and buildable and looks good with a lot of different looks. And then the other one is the Very Beautiful one, which is a little bit deeper. So this one I didn't wear as often just because it is quite a bit of a darker color for me. So I would always go in with a duo fiber brush to lightly apply it and then build it up as needed. But definitely a blush that would be a lot better for me in the summer. So those are the last bit of blushes that I have in my collection. Okay, so now really quickly, I want to kind of go through and sort them out and kind of swatch the ones that are very similar side by side, just to see how many that I have that are like very similar. Alright, up first is the one that I said is my favorite type or color of blush that I tend to reach for the most often. I'm surprised I only have these four. I feel like there would have been a lot more. Maybe it's because I'm thinking of Rose Duo, but even then I feel like that's just one more blush. Maybe I feel like this is the one I have the most of because, like I said, this is the one that I reach for the very most. So anyways, I am surprised that there's only these four here, but let's go ahead and swatch them, and I will just swatch them kind of, I guess, like, I don't know, like that. So we have the NARS one. I will swatch first because I know that's like one of the most expensive, and we'll just kind of compare them. So I am gonna go and build it up just because it's like doesn't swatch very well. I feel like, yeah, I've definitely made it somewhat hard pan. Okay, and then the It Cosmetics one, which I'm sure is pretty expensive as well. See, yeah, even right there you can see how similar they are, but the NARS one just a little bit lighter. So you get a little bit more pigmentation with the It Cosmetics one. I'm gonna wipe my hands. Then we have the Balm's Hot Mama. And then the cheapest one, which is this one from Rimmel London, which I'm not sure if it's still available or not, but hello, Mom. Hi, Bud. What are you listening to? What? Okay, so here we have them, all very similar. I feel like the Rimmel London one and the It Cosmetics ones are the most similar, and then the Balm and the NARS one are very, very similar, if you guys can see. But all of them are that same kind of corally, peachy pink, rosy pink with a gold shift kind of blush. Very, very similar shades. Okay, next up, I actually have a lot of these tones that are very, very similar. I didn't realize, wow, this blows me away. Look how similar, especially these ones right here. They're all gonna probably vary just slightly in shade, like just, or no, tone, shade, like just lightly or slightly darker, but within the same like color story family. Anyways, but these ones I felt like were the most similar, so I'm gonna go ahead and swatch all of these, and I'll probably bring the Stilazi palettes back for other similar shades too. So let's go ahead and just start with, I don't even know where I want to start. Let's go with the Wet n Wild. This is the Mellow Wine shade. All of these are matte, so that's the Wet n Wild one. Here is the Hush Blush from Pretty Vulgar. Okay, so that one looks a little bit cooler tone in comparison. This is the Milani Rose Blush in the shade Romantic Rose. Pretty similar. Let's go ahead and swatch the Pretty and Peach from Pure Cosmetics. Quite a bit lighter, but still I feel like in that same kind of color family. Okay, let's see if we keep these organized. And then this one from Borghese, which was the shade Thrill. This one actually has a little bit of shimmer, I forgot. But kind of the same color family. Okay, now, well, maybe this one's not as well. I'll still swatch it, but well, they have these two. So from the Stilazi Bahamas palette, we have Mai Tai and Tropic. I'm gonna run out of arm space here. Tropic might be a little bit more of the corally tone. I'll have to compare with some of the other ones. So kind of similar shades there. Then from the other, oop, whoa, let's do this. From the other Stilazi palette, we have this shade here, Private Island, a little bit darker. Quite a bit darker, I guess. Okay, and then similar to it is the one from the Zoeva Premier palette. So on Call, let me wipe my hand a little bit better. So kind of a little bit darker, but still in this color family a bit. Okay, and then the last one I have to swatch that I feel like is similar is from the It Cosmetics Confidence in Your Glow palette. And I'm just gonna, let's see, swatch this up here. Well, it's not gonna do very well over my tattoo, but you can kind of see it. Swatch it a little bit. All right, so a few that are a bit lighter, but relatively a lot in this kind of same color story, color family. This really surprises me quite a bit. Wow. And then some of my deeper tones, these are very similar. Two are matte, two have some shimmer to it, but all four of them are, I think, look like in the same, relatively same color family. These two shades actually look very similar except for this one's matte. So let's go ahead and swatch the matte ones first. I will do the matte blush from Pure Cosmetics, the Berry Beautiful. Here. And then the one from the Stilazi Barbados palette, this is the shade Salsa. So both of those matte. Ooh, Salsa's so pretty. A little bit more cooler or neutral tone compared to the Pure Cosmetics one. And then I'll go ahead and swatch this one because I feel like it's very similar to this matte one, Salsa. So this is from the Juno & Co. Bombshell palette, but this one has a little bit of sparkle to it. Ooh. Surprisingly, even though they look very similar in the pan, they are different. The one from Juno & Co. is a little bit more warmer tone and definitely a lot deeper and has some sparkle. So then lastly, we'll go into the Milani Red Vino shade, which has the most sparkle to it. Ooh, it's so pretty. Even though it's deeper, the sparkle will make it look a lot lighter, I think. I'm gonna build up that swatch a bit. Okay, so those are all my really deep toned blushes in this same kind of color family. Really, really beautiful, I think. It's sad that these only like really suit me at certain times of the year, a small portion of the year. All right, moving on to my more lighter shimmery finish blushes. I know this one from Delu is going to be quite a bit darker than the others, but it kind of, that's the only place that seemed to fit in. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and swatch this one from the Pixie. It's their Glow Cake. I feel like this is going to be very similar to Luminoso. It's very hard to tell like with this swatch. I'm going to swatch it again, build it up, and then go ahead and go into Luminoso from Milani, which I feel like is going to be very, very similar. Yep, wow, almost identical, except for Luminoso is a little bit warmer in tone. And don't worry, I will refocus so you guys can see the swatches better after I swatch the last one. So then now let's go ahead and go into the one from Delu. Oh yeah, this one kind of maybe should have been in the other category with the like mid-tone matte ones. But those were all matte and this one has a little bit of sparkle to it, but anyways. So not as luminous as it looks in the can, but here's the swatches. I think really you can see that the Milani and then the Pixie are very, very similar. Just slight differences in warm versus more neutral. Alright, so my last ones I have, I'm not really going to bother swatching these ones again just because they're more like bronzy colors for sure. And then I'm not even sure if I should bother swatching this one either just because it didn't swatch very well and it is more so bronzer anyways, but it does kind of go within this color family a little bit. Oh wait, no wait, there was one more. I put it away, but I meant to put this one over here. So this one kind of goes, but also kind of doesn't go. Like this one from It Cosmetics doesn't go as much with the rest of them, but kind of. So anyways, this is my more so corally blushes. Here you can see mostly, I feel like, oops, these three were the ones I felt like were the most similar. Of course, the one from Urban Decay and Milani are matte, whereas this one from CoverGirl has some shimmer to it. This one in the blush palette, Tropic, is what I feel like, even though I had it in another category, I feel like matches this a little bit better. But this one is matte. And then where I'm going to kind of tie the It Cosmetics one and then this limited edition one from Too Faced is this one right here, Flamingo. This shade from the Stilazi palette looks very similar. So I'll swatch those three close together and then the corally ones close together. So let's go ahead and go into this one from CoverGirl first just because it is the shimmery coral shade and the rest are going to be matte. Ooh, it's such a pretty, there's something about the shimmer. Like I know a lot of people don't like shimmery blushes, but I do. I love a shimmery blush more than a matte one. Okay, so then we'll go into the Milani one, since we're kind of keep it drugstore first up. This one's quite powdery when I go to swatch it. Okay, and then this one from Urban Decay. Again, this is the shade Naked. There's two other shades, so 3 in total on that palette. Oh, this one's quite a bit cooler tone in comparison. I thought it would match up a lot better. Looking at them in the pan, they look very, oh, let me get in frame here. They look very, very similar. Well, I guess even in pan, this one does look a little bit cooler tone, but still swatched out, I didn't realize they'd be that different. So that's really interesting. Okay, so then let's go ahead and swatch the Stilazi palette. I'll do the Tropic one first because that's the more corally one, then I'll go into Flamingo, and then we'll move into the cooler tone pinky shades here. So wipe it off my hand. We're going to Tropic first and then Flamingo. I almost feel like I should have put Tropic right here next to it, but here's Flamingo. All right, just had to change my battery real quick. So anyways, all right, moving along. So we have Flamingo here, and then I'll go ahead and go into the It Cosmetics Je ne sais quoi one, which I feel like is going to be pretty similar. Oh wow, very, very close, but just a little bit lighter. Let me give it another swatch because it can be built up. I mean, most all these products, these blushes can be built up. And then lastly, I'll go into this one, even though I wasn't able to get a good swatch of it before, but I'll try. I feel like I'm just going to hard pan it. Oh, it's just so pathetic. I don't even know if I should keep trying. Not really getting much. So anyways, all right, so those are my corally, very vibrant corally colors, or very vibrant, bright, cool toned pink shades of blush. I'd love to know what your favorite tone, shade, and type of blush is. Do you prefer matte? Do you prefer shimmers? Do you like the corally tones, the cool toned pinks? Do you like the mauves, the neutrals? Let me know the details. Also, let me know what your favorite just blush in general is, brand and shade. I'd love to know. I think that's going to go ahead and do it for this blush collection and swatch video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see me do any more of these, maybe I'll do swatching my highlighter collection, although that's pretty extensive. And this video I feel like is longer than I thought it would be, so that video would probably be really long. But if you enjoyed longer videos of these types, I definitely wouldn't mind doing more of them. It was really fun to be able to actually look through my collection, see what I have, remember what I have, and realize I have quite a bit of variety, and more so than I thought I did. So this was really good for me personally to do this, so I'm glad I did, but I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. So anyways, with all that being said, I just want to thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, much love and hugs to you. Bye, beauty babes!